This episode has been brought to you by Subject to Change Customs. Choose Subject to Change for all your custom apparel and promotional product needs. Follow them on all social media at S2C LLC and get your 4 times dope merch on their website. That's www.shopS2C.com.
Yeah, we in the building. 4 times dope. Yeah, we known to get it live, man. 4 times dope. New level, keep it high, yeah. 4 times dope. Mic check, now we on it, we live.
Kwame, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let me pull up my screen so I won't have to be. Okay. All right. Everybody good?
And you got us in the fourth thing, right? The four square.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna edit all this out anyway. All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, we in the 4 times dope. Yeah, we known to get it live, man. 4 times dope. New level, keep it high, yeah. 4 times dope. Mic check, now we on it, we live.
All right, everybody. I want to welcome you guys back to another episode, great episode of the 4 times dope podcast. Since the last time we actually recorded, a lot has happened. And I think at the end of the day, we all guys have something to say about that and feel a certain way, but we'll definitely come back to that in a second. But I first want to introduce our guest, our dope guest, Mr. Daniel Thomas. And he's actually a financial specialist. And we'll give him the floor in a second, but I want to let my amigos introduce themselves again.
What up? What up?
Right.
Right. What's up, man?
Good.
Mr. Daniel, I'm gonna give you a chance just to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on and stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man, to be on this platform with these amazing brothers. I love what you guys are doing and being able to just see people of color. Like you said, everything that's been going on.
Right.
We look like we had a little bit of a victory yesterday, and then we end the day hearing about some more news. So it's trying time, but at the end of the day, my name is Daniel Thomas. Financial professional, been in the financial industry now for about 10 plus years. Started with New York Life, worked for State Farm Bank. Originally from New Jersey. So I'm born and raised in New Jersey, but I actually did most of my growing up in Florida, which is where me and my wife and my daughter are currently at right now in Orlando. Got away from all them cold winters. We're not trying to do snow no more. We're trying to do sunshine.
Right.
New York winter.
Yeah. No more than New York winters, 6 feet of snow. We're not trying to do that no more. So, we been in the finance industry. My wife by trade is a teacher. She went to HBCU in St. Louis, Harris-Stowe State University, small HBCU. Not a lot of people know about it, but became a teacher. Heard of it? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, Harris-Stowe is in St. Louis. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, St. Louis, right across from St. Louis University. So she went there 4 years, got a degree in education, and we started our own private financial brokerage firm about 4 years ago in Raleigh. So we've been 4 years independent, doing this as our own business owners. Got associates nationwide, and just continue to grow and trying to help as many communities as we can.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Word up. That's good, man. That's good stuff. So, fellas, before we get into it, I do want to just ask you guys, in regard to the verdict yesterday, in the George Floyd trial.
No, it's the Derek Chauvin trial with the murder of George Floyd.
Right. Exactly. My bad.
Right.
I just want to real quick. I just want to touch on that. Like, how did you guys feel? And I'll kick it off because this is what happened to me. I was driving yesterday. I was watching it on my phone. My sister hit me up like, "Yo, you see the trial?" I guess it hit the TV waves before it hit my phone. Right. And I said, "Let me check it out." And I pulled over on the interstate, and man, I just started bawling, crying. Right when I found out it was that he was guilty. And it was only because, like, I'm not gonna lie, man, like, I've been feeling like for a while, and I didn't recognize how long I've been feeling this way. But like, as a black male in America, and maybe more so, my profession has highlighted a lot of things in terms of racism.
Right.
Because I work obviously at PWI, I teach at the PWI, and 99% of my students are white, and I just feel so lonely sometimes. But I just felt like worthless, man, up until that point. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And I guess all those emotions just came out, and I was happy, but I was only happy for a second because, like, you know, we still got a long way to go, right? But that was a teardrop in the bucket. But anyway, I just want to get you guys' opinion, man. You know, how did you feel about that? You know, what was going through your mind? You
Well,
know,
I actually felt the same way. Like I didn't 'cause I was actually working when the verdict came out, but I had the TV on CNN all day waiting to hear about it.
Mhm.
And when I heard it, I was happy, and some type of emotion did come over me. You know, like I felt like I wanted to cry, but I didn't. But I felt like some type of vindication. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
right.
it was just a lot of different emotions that came over me. But at the same time, I was also processing and thinking. You know, like I think I told Kwame a couple of weeks ago, or maybe recently, somebody that some days I actually feel a lot of anxiety when I get into my car. Because I don't know what could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like I just the fear of getting stopped and not knowing what could happen because they stopping people for anything. You know what I mean? Especially at night. If I don't have to drive at night, I'm not going to. I know it can happen in the daytime, but I just have a lot of anxiety. So even with that verdict yesterday, I felt good, but I still in the back of my mind, I was like, it's gonna take a lot to change for us to ever feel, for me personally to feel comfortable again stepping.
And then Kisharo, that's an additional anxiety or an additional nuance that we don't have the luxury of like breaking away from. You know what I mean?
Right. It's built in. It's a built-in feature.
Right. It's a package deal with America, right? So
Right.
and it sucks. So
and real quick, it even affects my kids, my oldest daughter anyway, because we were out Saturday or Sunday, one day, we were out trying to get something to eat at Chipotle, and I was gonna run in and run back out, and she at the age now where she want to stay in the car by herself. You know, if it's gonna be a short period of time, I don't mind if I can see her. But she saw like a white cop standing outside, and he was looking kind of suspicious. But when I got out, she called me on her phone. She was crying because she was like, "I don't feel comfortable sitting in the car, with this policeman right here because I just don't feel comfortable." So we left and just went somewhere else because she knows what's going on. So it's affecting kids too. And I was like, I just hate that feeling. I feel like there was nothing I could do but try to make her feel safe. You know what I mean? But it's reality.
Definitely. Daniel, what about you? How did how did it strike you yesterday when you found out?
Man, to be completely honest, I was shocked that was all guilty on 3 counts. When I met my wife, we actually were in St. Louis during the Mike Brown.
Oh, wow.
And I was working out there at the time. I had a corporate 9-to-5 job, and I remember we were probably maybe 10 minutes from where the police station was, the Ferguson police station where we lived at. So I remember that whole process and how they prolonged, giving the verdict and making the announcement, that whole thing. And it was like, it was almost kind of like deja vu yesterday because, they said 4:30 and then 4:30 came and they still didn't say anything. And then next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock and they still, I'm like, go again. Like, it's one of those things. But when it came out and it was like guilty on all 3 charges, it was like a sigh of relief, but also it's the same thing. I've seen this post all day yesterday and even today, accountability and justice, right? And it kind of really hit home. Like, it's accountability. It's not really justice because we're still reading about stories. We're still seeing people. We still, like you just talking about, you got your daughter in the car, still stressed, right? Still scared, So justice is, it's a small piece on a long way to get into where we want to.
Right.
But you take your wins where you get to, but we can't be complacent and say, hey, we got this win. Now we kind of just take a step back and like, all right, everything's good. There's still a lot more work to do.
Right. So Jamie, what about you, dude?
I tell you this, I was talking to my LB Phillip when it came down, and he was driving when I told him what it was. And I had a sinking feeling in my stomach, like they're about to fuck us. They're about to get us. Now, here's the thing about America. America, we portray to be aspirational, right? Barack Obama years, we were very aspirational, who we want to be, right? Trump years showed us who we really are. That's who we
Right.
are. We
Right.
are racist as that's our
It
original.
pulled that layer back, right?
That's exactly who we are. We were sitting there the whole time. It was just like, okay, y'all can come up front now.
Right.
So it was like, okay, are we going to we're going to stay in this, are we going to stay who we are, or we're going to become more aspirational again? And it only takes one person in that jury to say, well, I don't know. But when you think about it, man, he stayed on that man's neck for 9 minutes. I mean, if you just try to me being 43, if I just try to stand on my knee right now for 9 minutes, I would shift around and probably stand up. Probably couldn't do it. But that's how much hatred that man had for him.
Right.
So even that, we all saw it with our own eyes. We're still thinking, can we screw ourselves? And
Right.
the answer is yes. There's always a chance. There's always a chance.
Right.
So when I watched it, I felt like they were gonna screw us. They, as in, they had 8 white men on the jury. You only take one, and why not stand up for your city? Because Minnesota has a record of doing some wild shit as of late.
And Jamie, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, it was kind of nostalgic for me because it took me back to the Rodney, even though we were super young.
Yeah.
It took me back to that Rodney King incident too. And in my mind,
all saw it, yeah.
And what's so screwed up about America is that even though the video was not grainy like the Rodney King vid, we saw everything. The fact that the notion that there's a possibility that it may not go our way, that's our reality. That's what we have to live
every day.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a hard pill to swallow, man. So I get it. Hey, Quan, what about you, dude?
Yeah, I mean, y'all said it all, but yeah, my initial reaction was a short sign of relief. Happy for the family, hopefully they felt they got some type of justice, even though it's not bringing him back. And it's just like, thank God for that video, because even with the video, like y'all said, it still didn't mean anything. So imagine that video didn't exist. Like he's been walking the streets, right? You know what I'm saying, right now.
They had to do a 2-week trial to prove that he killed that man
on the
with 9
video.
minutes.
9 minutes on the video.
I mean, it was from 5 different angles, y'all. The little girl's angle, and then the 4 cops angle.
Right.
There's a 5th cop, if I'm not mistaken. There's 4 of them. I'm sorry.
And the street camera.
And the street and the camera.
Yeah.
Nobody would have thought to go look at that. And that's crazy that we had all the high definition information. It was still up for debate.
Right.
I think the worst thing too, if you add with that, is not even up for debate. It's in the court of public opinion. I mean, look at how many people still are trying to justify the cop. Like, oh, if he was just an arrest, or he was just doing this. So I mean, it just, you talked about those Trump years. It really still shows we're still at a place where we're not even close to where we need to be to get justice. Because there's still a lot of people who still don't see anything wrong with what happened.
Nah,
I agree with that. That's the sad part.
That's a huge problem, and that's something we got to wake up and go to sleep with, living with, man. All right, fellas, I want to switch gears a little bit. We'll just move forward. The last time we met, guys, we talked about our personal financial goals, right? I just want to check in and see how things are going. I know for me, I think I mentioned save more. Check. I've done that. I've saved a little bit, and I said purchase some more stock. That I have not done. I actually have my eyes on a couple of things. I may give it another 2 weeks, but for the most part, I was able to, save what I want to save the last, whatever the case may be. So, Kashara, did it work out for you?
Well, I didn't really have any for me personally. It was more of the kids, and so getting them set up on a financial literacy class. So I did do that. Like I said, my sister-in-law, she's a financial advisor at Wells Fargo, and so she's going to do these classes starting in June.
Right.
Okay.
For the youth, a 6-week class, to start educating them and teaching them about financial literacy. So I did sign them up for that. So, but as far as the stock go, I mentioned that last time because I want to get into it, and I saw this was a Dogecoin. Dogecoin has been going crazy this week. So I was trying to jump on, but I was having issues with the Robinhood app, and I just got frustrated. And I was like, forget it.
So, you gotta get that work out, man. We gotta get it worked out.
Yeah, so I was like, I thought I texted him. Well, I wanted to. I was like, I need you to show me how to do this because I'm a hands-on person. I need somebody to walk me through.
Right.
Right. So, but I still want to do that. So
yeah. Okay, Kwame.
I think mine was just trying to, like, say, invest in stock. I still gun shy. I just want to try to figure out what would be the smart move to put some type of small investment in. I know all like the cryptocurrency is the thing, so it's just pretty much finding the correct cryptocurrency, and also I want to be able to use the right app. You know what I'm
Conduit to
saying?
get to the stuff.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yeah,
hopefully I learned something
Coinbase
today
or whatever
that
wallet.
I can pull this trigger.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
that's where I'm at.
Okay,
Yeah.
no doubt. But hey, Quan, you doing the right thing too, man. Just monitor that thing for a second, man. It'll hit you. That target to come. Jamie, what about you, man?
So I messed around with the Dogecoin. I got on that dog. I had about 3,000 shares of that thing, and I cashed out and got like $3,000 out of the Dogecoin. So y'all
Right.
study wrong, baby. I got up out of there.
Right.
I cashed out. I got like 500 shares left. So I was waiting for it to go up yesterday because it was 420. I mean, it's a joke. So be clear. Dogecoin is a joke. It's a joke. Like it's not. I'm not being facetious. It's a joke at Bitcoin and Ethereum, all the other coins that are out there, cryptocurrencies that are out there. Somebody said, I'm gonna make one called Dogecoin. I'm gonna make a dog the mascot, and it worked. Right? People just fell into the joke. But Elon Musk do gas on the fire, and I'm like, wait a minute, why are my stocks so high right now? Man, I looked at that Dogecoin. I said, I'm gonna take about 2,500 out. I took 2,500 out. Then I took another 500 out 2 days later. I was talking to my wife. I'm like, what's going on? Hey, look, you got to have your stock alerts and everything set for your phone to get in and out. And that's a joke stock that I have, but all my other stocks are rising, and I'm pretty consistent with those too.
Okay, no doubt,
But I came up 3K off the damn dude, so don't.
Man, that's a hell of a come up.
The dog was hunting, boys.
That's a hell of a come up, man. That's a hell of a come up. Daniel, did you? This is something we did personally, but I don't know. You want to share any, month-to-month financial goals you may have, or?
Yeah. I mean, for me and my wife, it's just really getting in the position of really diversifying our money even more. Getting into a lot of things you're talking about. Our stock portfolio expanding even more. I would tell you a goal that we're really on this week with a couple of partners that we're in business with. Our focus has been is trying to turn our stock, especially like you said, crypto right now is the wave that's kind of moving within the stock market. Whether it has a use point or not, right? A lot of crypto is like you said, it's fake. I mean, it's a meme. There's a lot of crypto out there that has no use for anything. It's just making money. I saw one the other day that was like $43,000, and I'm like, where is it? I never heard of it before, and it's already at $43,000 a share. So there's a lot of money, but when you look at crypto, it's the only place right now where typically your long-term investments will get you 8 to 12% a yearly basis. You can get 8 to 12% in a day with crypto. Right? A day. So this is what's driving a lot of people. So you know what? I always tell even when I advise my clients, is only deal with money you lose, that you're willing to lose and with losing. That's something me and my wife are doing right now. We have a couple of some discretionary money, and our goal is if we can flip it into $500, $1,000 a day. You do that 30 days in a month, that's an extra 30K. So that's our goal right now is looking to just diversify our money. We have some long-term things that we're working, some strategies, things called like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of infinite banking or family banking. We got things like that we're working. So it's really right now just making our money work even more and just expanding our current portfolio right now.
Awesome. Sounds like everybody's definitely on target. That's good stuff, man. All right, fellas. Before we begin, one quick question though. I was thinking about something the other day. Actually yesterday and today. I told you guys how I just had this overwhelming emotional feeling about the verdict, and I was thinking about this question. I want to get you guys' take on this question. And the question is, what event or in your lives, what event or what situation did you experience that changed your morals and values? Just about, it could be you personally or just life or any area of morals and values. Can you think of anything that happened to you that made you just more aggressive or more aware of your morals and values? And I'll start it off. Okay.
Good question.
So I was thinking, like I told you guys, so much was going through my head yesterday, but I remember, man, this might have been around 2004 or 5, and this thought just came back to me like this yesterday. I was riding, taking my mother to dinner, doing something. I was living in Durham at the time, but I drove to Wilson, take her out. And out of the blue, man, my mom just asked me, who's very keen. You guys know my mom was super smart, but she asked me, like, how does it feel to have a college degree?
Mm.
And when she asked me that, I froze. I remember just getting quiet because those words she spoke so many different languages. And I think at that time, I hadn't been, I didn't go, I wasn't in grad school at the time, but I think when she asked me that, man, it just gave me so much more insight on my mom, how strong she is, how inquisitive she is, how in tune she is with her kids, but also with me. It just made me more aggressive in terms of just wanting to make her happy, right? Through a company, right? My goal was to go to the league and buy her a house. That was my goal for her, but that's not what she wanted. She wanted us to become quality folks, quality people. And I think at that point, that's when I valued her goal for me to become a quality man, black man in America. When she asked me, how does it feel to have a college degree? Because in my mind, that's something that she felt was like pivotal in terms of transitioning you to a different class of living in America, which is important. There's, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that happened to me, man. It just made me, in terms of morals and values, personal morals and values, and how to treat people, in addition to living abroad. I think that one thing just it just solidified how my personal morals and values, right? So, yeah. All right, Kasharo, I see you thinking, bro.
I'm thinking over here trying to answer that question.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know where to begin.
That was a good question. I don't know. I can say this. I don't know if it might be going to your question, answering the question or not. I'm not sure, but I know it changed me and how I think about things. Like, we all are judgmental to a certain degree. We see something or we see something and we judge people based on whatever it is we hear or we see somebody tell us.
Implicit bias plays a role in that too.
Sometimes, yeah. So in 2018, I think it was 18 or 19, I was doing my internship for my master's, professional counseling. And I was working with a client, and the client accused me of basically sexual harassment. And I basically got put on leave from that internship because of this accusation. But the accusation really could have damaged me, like for my career, for a lot of stuff, like things, going to my kids' school, like I would have been put on a pedophile list. Like it was a very, very bad situation that I wouldn't wish on anybody. So from that situation, now from that day on to current, I'm very cautious about when I hear something about somebody, whether it's an allegation or somebody just gossiping or whatever it is. I just hear it, Okay, I process it, and I'm like, okay, well, I hear you, but I know still maybe another side.
Right.
So I'm not going to be so quick to judge or cast a judgment on somebody, and I don't know what the other side is. You know what I mean? Because people can put stuff on you, and it could ruin you. You never know. So all these sexual allegations that people got out, and all these celebrities and these person. Let me see the facts before I can form an opinion. Like that's something I've learned. Like with just people in general across the board, I'm not going to form an opinion about something if I don't know everything it is I need to know, because it was a lot. So my judgment has gotten, I guess the word is, I don't judge. You know what I mean?
No, that's for the facts. No. And I think it takes a person experience like that to really be like, let me process it and empathize and get the facts first, right?
Yeah.
I totally understand that, Cheryl. Daniel, can you think of anything?
Man, that's a deep question. I've been sitting over here thinking as both of y'all were talking about. Of course, there's probably so many different, situation experiences we all face on a, daily basis that make us really think like, man, thinking about who we are as a person, our morals and our values. But I think it's just a culmination of, if I would just kind of be generic, it's a culmination of life in general, man, of just seeing different things from, talking about the corporate life experience and, the judgment thing, even working what I do now, the different clients that I see on a daily basis. And, used to be so hard on people like, hey, You know, if you want to make it, you can make it. You just got to do better. But then you know that there's systemic things that are in place that keep people in poverty or keep people struggling financially. It's not always and where, hey, you just need to save more. I can't save more. I have no way to do it because of what's going on, whether it be my income, whether I live, whatever the case is. So
right.
More of not a narrow mindset anymore, where when you grow up, you get out of high school, you get to college, depending on where you come from, you have a narrow mindset. You see things the way you see it from your community, from where you live. I think life has just cultivated me in a way where my mindset now is like you just said, not judging. Kind of let me see the full picture first.
Let me wait and see.
Make my decision from there because everyone has a different story and everyone has different situations that they come from. It's not one size fits all.
Right. I agree, Daniel. I totally agree. Come on, man. What about you, man?
I think the biggest thing I have learned is not trusting so easy. I think when I was in college or even before that, I feel if everybody was just, cool, nice, and you busting up with them, whatever and stuff, then they're good people and they're your friend and everything else. And it took a couple times like just getting burnt, you know what I'm saying, and just just kind of watching people a little bit longer, and you know what I'm saying, because somebody smiling and laughing doesn't mean necessarily make them, they're your friend. And yeah, it's been a couple, I got a lot of situations I can think of, but I can think of one.
I understand. Like,
I got quite a few, but I can think of one real quick. Like one of my frat brothers, you know what I'm saying? We fell out, and partly because he's trying to like holler at my sister on the low, and he was trying to, keep in mind he was older, and at the time my sister was
out of pocket.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, my sister was just about to go into college, and he's almost near 30 at this point, whatever and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I know you. I know how you roll. I know what how you go. So
and you're too old.
Yeah, you're too old. Like, and then he was trying to justify, but what's wrong? Like why can't I? I'm like, nigga, I know how you get down. So you kind of like out of pocket, out of lane, and
way out of
pocket. Else. So it just like we kind of like, I don't know, we kind of fell out, whatever. I just kind of backed away from him, whatever, went different ways and stuff. And then the fast forward, I haven't seen this guy maybe like, it might have been like a 15-year period. And I ended up seeing him about 2-3 years ago. And it could, because frat stuff. So eventually you're going to meet somebody. So I'm trying to keep it, just cool and cordial and all that stuff like that. And everything. Of course, he wants to come back and talk, whatever. And he still was on the same stuff. Like, yo, I don't understand, like, why you was upset about this stuff. And I'm like, yo, I ain't talked to you in 15 years for this very same reason.
Here's the reason here.
And, you know what I'm saying? And he just didn't really get it. You know what I'm saying? Everything. And it just kind of like, I got to just fall back and just, just take things easy with people,
Right. Totally understand, totally understand, man. So, fellas.
Yo, bro.
Jamie.
Jambo. My fault, Jamie. My bad.
So, it's two things for me.
Right.
I watch comedy a lot, and comedians are telling the truth. It's really the truth. You go back and look at it. So for me, it was George Carlin. If you really go back and listen to his earlier 60s and 70s stand-ups.
When he was talking about religion and stuff like that?
Yeah, get into religion and get into how it is here in America. And then it's like, oh, wow, a young mind hearing that and then actually seeing it in real time is like, that's crazy. And then it's another thing. Let me take my headphones off. I got to grab this picture real quick.
Photos.
Sorry, fellas. It was, my mama came up the other day. She brought my Boy Scout picture. It's Scouts. Y'all can see that. There ain't but one black boy in that picture. That's
right down there. I see.
And my black ass done seen some crazy white boy shit. So I knew then dealing with them white folk, it was gonna be some shit. I knew then, as I was 15 in that picture. And just that picture alone, I done seen too much stuff go on and not trusting people. They be like, okay, we different from them. So let me pull back and do my own thing and keep I got a stiff arm against those folks because I done seen too much as a child, along with what I've learned and what I've seen. As what does your shirt say, Kisharo?
Nah, I'm good.
Hey, Jamie, let me ask you something. So, is it safe to say, like, some of the things you've seen, right?
Yeah.
As an adult, have some of those same like actions been reflected in America, like some of the things that's happened currently,
Yeah.
right?
Down to the T. Down from
It
what
was
I
a
saw. I mean, the things I've seen, I'm from the country and I've seen a lot of, so that's, when I say that, I mean, I am from the country, but I've had a lot of interactions with white folk. They're good people. They're great people, actually.
right.
It's just when they start to try to explain themselves and then it gets weird. It's like, yo, man, you just stay over there. I'll be over here. How about that?
Right. Gotcha.
Because a lot of these atrocities that happened to us came from them.
Right.
I mean, like, we're the ones who always have a default to truth and trying to give people,
Right.
the benefit of the doubt all the time, but it's them who's,
Right.
screwing the world over.
Right. And then we're blamed for our own transgressions, right?
Right.
So,
If you watch another movie, it's Destroy All the Brutes or something.
Yeah, I saw it already.
Documentary on HBO. Okay, I'm on episode 2.
That
That shit is like, yo.
And then colonialism is crazy, boy.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy. And I'm a huge documentary guy, so
Me too.
I believe in the truth.
Yeah.
I love to see the truth because the truth is, or real life is crazier than fiction would ever be.
Right. So, speaking of Jamie, thank you for that. You just gave me the perfect leeway, dude. So,
segue.
Right. Segue. So now, I want us to just briefly talk about pitfalls of handling finances. And me personally, everything's not black and white. Everything's not racism, but I do believe a lot of financial regression in the black community. It's systemic and it's perpetuated. It stems back from those colonial days, and I think a lot of that's part of the issue why a lot of us we fumble financial goals and we don't really set these goals. And a lot of us, we've had this conversation, fellas. Some things we just don't get until we are adults, and we got to figure that shit out. We got to figure it out. So I guess my question is, what would you guys say? It can be personally, or it can just be like your view on society, or folks in society. What would you say are some of the pitfalls of handling, or some of the pitfalls people experience in regard to handling their finances? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We can let Daniel go first since he's the guest.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I would tell you this is more personal, and just even I've seen this with clients I deal with. It's generational curses. And what I mean by that is generation from generation to generation has no literacy when it comes to finance. So
they don't talk about money.
Yeah, they don't talk about money, right? And I think about when I was a kid, I wasn't taught about money. The only thing I was taught was open a bank account. That was it. Right? So I didn't know anything about my 401k. I didn't know about an IRA. I didn't know about mutual funds, investing. None of that. Why? Because my parents, while they gave us the best, life they could give us, they did what they could do. All they knew was go out and work, make a paycheck, pay your bills. As long as your bills were paid, you were good. That was doing good in our household. As long as your bills were paid, even if a few were late, you were doing good. So when you look generationally, this is all that we ever passed down. And when you compare us to other races, specifically white race, look what they're passing down. I have clients that are trust fund babies. They got millions upon millions of dollars that they never worked a day in their life. That's just sitting in that account. All they had to do was graduate from school. That was it. That was the only requirement. You graduate from school and you got $2 million, $3 million to you, and they buying real estate, commercial property, living.
Taking the world over.
Yeah, that is, to me, is probably the biggest thing, because that one, it affected me personally. And it was part of the reason why I got into the field that I'm in, and part of the mission that me and my wife are on now is financial literacy, because we knew what it was like for us. We didn't know anything about money, so we just struggled financially. We tried to save a couple $100 here, we put here, we were spending money on a lot of material things, like trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we really didn't understand the value of finances, and that goes all the way back, and we can't fault our parents. I don't fault my parents for it, because they only know what they knew, and they knew what they knew. But at some point, someone has to stand up and say, look, we're not going to do this no more. Someone's got to change. We got to focus. And I think now we're starting to see that more than ever, but I still think we're still way behind the curve on that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, you made some awesome points, man. What would you want to say?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know you. So yeah, I definitely agree with it. With Daniel as well. I think a lot of it is because it's not the lack of education about it. Like you said, like Daniel has said, like we learn from what we have. Like I said, our parents try to do the best they can, but then like so you compare yourself, like you said, to other races and other, that they kind of got like that step ahead, like you said, because their family members or their grandfathers or whoever else or great grandfathers already setting the tone for them already. So what I mean, they leave in college already paid for. A lot of us, we got
Right.
debt. You know what I'm
We're in
saying?
the
So you
hole.
might have,
Right.
you might be working with Tom, and y'all got the same degree, and making probably possibly the same amount of money, and he's still a whole lot ahead of you because you're paying, this debt from college when his stuff's already free from it.
He's all profit.
Yeah, so it's us, and he might have a money already set, let him, for him to put money down on the house already. When we trying to save us, so you got two things: you're trying to pay back your debt from college. You're trying to save up money so you can put money down to get a house. When you got this other person who might already have this stuff already waiting for him, and it's not a case for all, of course, all white people.
And,
Everybody's
and,
something.
and Kwame, in some cases, people are still 5 and 10 years after college are still trying to find a full-time career too. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Exactly. So it takes a while. Like I said, it took me like 18 years to finally pay off my college debt. It's almost 20 years.
Right.
And think somebody who didn't already have that. All that money they could have had been using just to
Right.
use for whatever else, whether it's investing in, like I said, real estate or their own, anything else they desire to do. So I
Right.
think a lot of it is just trying not to make those mistakes and trying to do better with with ourselves. And like I said, we're supposed to be doing it where we're not just putting money for our kids, but also for our grandkids. You know what I'm saying? I think it's somewhere in the Bible it says that. I can't quote you which verse it is, but I heard it before. But yeah, so I think it's just one of those things.
Thanks to the book of Proverbs.
Might be the proverb. Look it up.
It's probably in Ecclesiastes or over about Job.
Jamie.
It's very generational, certainly. And then it's just basic knowledge and it's fear, along with redlining. So here's what's happening now. Understand that the government is giving out business loans like they're water, right? Just like we got those student loans for $50,000 and $80,000. Now, if you went to your bank to ask for $10,000 for a business loan, you would not get it. All right. With an immaculate business plan, and you got a franchise as a Chick-fil-A, they can't fail. You're not going to get that money. But now, all of a sudden, I mean, certainly with the pandemic, all this money is flooding these businesses. And we certainly need this capital. I need this money. But where were you when I asked for this in 2005? We were turned down for so many loans that it was a way of life. I'm like, well, I always get turned down. And my wife was like, no, this is not how it goes. So she got me straight. And it was like I was beaten to a pulp where I was not worthy of anything.
Right.
So I got this huge loan. And I was like, wow, I got a loan. Like I got one. And my wife's like, yeah, you got great credit. You should have one. Like I had to pull myself out of being conditioned to think that I'm not worthy of anything. And I'm going to earn it myself. Man, these folks getting all these loans left and right because they were ready, they were prepared, and they weren't afraid or fearful. Where I was like, well, I'm not worthy of any of that, so I'm not even going to bother with it. Man, they were not giving that money out. So it's a lot of variables going on. But for the average man who doesn't have a business, it's just strictly, more than likely, he's probably caught up in a student loan he can't pay back, taxes. It's so many little things that he can't get to go right for him. And what if he wanted to sell the house and make some money? Guess what? They appraise it at 50% less than what it's really worth.
Right.
Just because. So it's all kinds of stuff, and you guys are selling and buying new houses now. So you got to know that there's probably somebody out here or an appraiser. If you take your pictures down, they won't know it's a black family living there, so they give you more money on it.
Right.
50% up.
We're going through it now, man.
Yeah, right.
Kashar was going through it. He had to go
You got to
through
take
that.
your pictures down because they're going to say, oh, no. This ain't worth $300,000. This is only worth $200,000.
And just to piggyback what you just said too, and like I said, I'm on the other end, been looking for home by the close Friday, but yeah, and I know most of the homes we look with most Black people end up living there when I found out we put an offer on certain houses and stuff like that. Like the ones who were black, a lot of times I didn't see no pictures of nobody black, but the white families or the white and maybe Asian families, their pictures all up on the wall, like it didn't even matter.
Right.
So
because we know we playing the game.
Man, it's
Right.
crazy, man. It's how subtle it is very noticeable.
Right.
Go ahead, Jermaine.
No, I was gonna say, Kwame, you actually took the words directly out of my mouth. I was gonna say it's actually written in fine print. It's in fine print, but Jamie said something important too. Daniel did too. They kind of I'm gonna merge these ideas, and here's my perspective. And I have to go back to me getting emotional behind this whole verdict thing, because I told you guys I've been feeling like this for a while. Like, we've all put our trust in America to some degree, and every time America moves that goalpost or disappoints us, we never turn our back. We do the Jesus thing. We keep embracing America. We keep embracing.
Yep.
We keep, we'll put the stake over our eye. It's all love. America loves me. He just beat me because she loves me. We just keep back, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt, and that's how I feel now. Jamie, you just said it. Redlining. I actually saw that. You guys probably saw it. The black couple was on the news or whatever.
In California.
Right. They had to take the pictures down because the appraiser appraised the house like 200 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
But check this out. There was an article written. It was in the Wall Street Journal. It was written in 2016. And you guys may be familiar with this. And I think this sums it up because it is systemic, and it does go back, way back through vagrancy laws and prison statistics. All this stuff plays a role. But the article in the Wall Street Journal, here's the heading. It will take 228 years for black families to amass wealth of white families in America.
How many years?
228.
Damn.
228 years, and this was in the Wall Street Journal. So that's premeditated. That's not by accident. That's strategically planned. And me personally, when we talk about pitfalls of finances, actually, Daniel hit the nail on the head. And guys, we've had this conversation. There were things my mom didn't get. She just didn't have to pass to us. I'm the youngest. My older siblings, they picked up on things, whatever, and they passed them to me. But still, it wasn't innate. We weren't born with inheritance and stuff like that. We had to work for what we got, right? So when we finally become adults, or we meet a young lady who can help us with that, whatever the case may be, we as an adult, we wrap our minds around that concept, and it's never too late. I don't think it's ever too late, but that 228 year head start is I think it speaks volumes, and it speaks a lot to why our perception of money. We don't look at money as a tool. We look at it as, oh, I have it, I can spend it. No, it doesn't. Right? It's a tool. So that's my.
Hey, Kashar, before you go, Daniel was right. It is Proverbs 13:22.
Word up.
Children. That's the one I was thinking of. It was in my tongue.
Listen, Daniel kicked that scripture all the time. He
Closing technique right there, man.
Gotta close the deal.
It says it in the good book. You need to do it.
Right.
Proverbs 13 chapter 1.
Sorry, you got it, brother.
Y'all pretty much covered it, but something Jamie said that kind of stuck with me was true when you said the fear. You talk about the fear of it, and a lot of times we weren't taught or educated, maybe because it's just generational. But I know for me, it definitely was fear. Incident specifically, like when my youngest daughter was born, our insurance had changed over, and for her birth, they sent us a bill for $15,000, and it just kind of like rocked my whole world, because I was like, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, like I gotta pay this bill. And my dumb behind freaking out because I'm not trying to be late on anything, or I'm not trying to mess my credit up. I took like the majority of our savings to pay a lot of that bill off, not thinking like, yo, you got other bills, you got other stuff you got to do. Like, so it kind of like put me in a kind of a bind. I was kind of stuck because I wasn't thinking like, you don't have to pay this all at one time. Like they would have,
make a payment.
They would let you make payments, but because no one ever taught me, how to strategize, how to pay things, just seeing that number $15,000 like just freaked me out. So I was like, I got to pay it. So because it was the fear of owing somebody and the fear of messing my credit and all this type of stuff. So that was a pitfall for me. I learned from it. Like, you don't have to pay it all right now. You know what I mean? Even I even called them to ask. I was just like, no, I got to pay it.
Yeah,
So I'm sure if I had called or talked to somebody, I would have known. But it was a learning experience. So now I know. But anyway, moving on. So being that George Floyd verdict came out yesterday, and a lot.
The Derek Chauvin verdict.
Chauvin, sorry, Derek Chauvin. Sorry,
Chauvin.
Make that clear. Yeah. A year ago, and all this stuff was happening. I feel like we, as a people, we started to see things and look at things differently, and notice that we are good. Like, Black is good. Black is everything, and we need to start pouring back into our communities and into each other. So I think Black businesses started to become more, out there. Like, they were always there, and we know the importance of doing it, but I don't think we really, really honed in on it until all this stuff started happening last year around this time. So, and I know for me personally, I started like making a list, like, of a lot of Black businesses that I would want to support or put out there, or even a lot of people we know personally like started their own little businesses and stuff like that. So I felt like the importance has always been there, but I think now we really see why it's important to support each other since all this stuff is happening. So my question is to you, Daniel, why do you think it's so important that we support Black businesses, in your opinion?
Man, it goes right back to, one of the historical cases I always like to look back is Black Wall Street. You think about how many times a dollar cycled that community before it left and went to another community, right? And that's the power that we have in America. Is if you look at entrepreneurship, this country as a whole wasn't founded on 9-to-5 corporate America. It was building a trade, apprenticeship, or having an entrepreneurship, having a job, having your business, right? And when you look at supporting Black businesses, this is a way for us to kind of level the playing field economically. But the problem with that is we don't put the same amount of effort and passion into owning a Black business. And I think that's the issue that comes with supporting is the fact that sometimes we think just because it's labeled or dubbed a Black business, it should automatically generate support, or we're asking for handouts, right? And I think that's something that even as us, like, for example, my brother came down to visit. Him and his wife live in Missouri. They came down to visit. They've been out here this week. And my daughter's turning 2 next month. My wife wants to do a photo shoot for her. So I was like, hey, you guys, they run a photography business. They're like, oh, we'll do it for free. You guys are family. I'm like, no, you own a business. Don't do it for free. I will pay you. Trust me, I can pay you. We're not struggling. I can take care of it. No, it's cool, it's family. Like, you're not going to get anywhere if that's the mindset as a Black business. Because if I went to any other race, even not just even white, if you went to Indian,
they're gonna take your money.
They're gonna take your money. They don't care if it's family. They don't care if you live in the house with them. I'm gonna take your money. This is my fee and my service. So I think it's a mindset where we have to look at if we really want to build economically. And people say money's not everything, but money controls everything that's important to us. So if we want to level the playing field, it starts with supporting these Black businesses, but making sure that we're doing everything that we can to have our Black business at a level of excellence. And we're supporting at a level of excellence, not at a level of I'm gonna share. But we're the type. At the end of the day, we can come on here right now. Each one of you, if you have your own business, can give advice. Someone would take that advice and literally walk down the street to someone else within our own community and not do business with us. And I think that's the bigger issue when we look at supporting Black businesses than just saying support Black businesses. We got to get to the root of, look, there's an economic advantage that we can have by doing that. That's going to take us to another level.
That's a very good point. I like that. That's a very good point. What about you, Kwame?
Yeah, I agree. Agree with Daniel as well. And it starts with, like I said, cycling the dollar and our own business as well, like they used to do back in the day. I know everybody talk about, like I said, the Black Wall Street. Think about Tulsa, Oklahoma, whatever and stuff. But there's also, we have Black Wall Street here in Durham, which we can get into that later and stuff. And you see some of those historical pictures around our university and up the street in the High Tide area. And especially after Reconstruction, all the way up to like the 50s, before that Interstate 147 came in there and
Right down the middle.
divided that whole community up, and how you see like a movie theater, hospital, you know everybody and people was in that area supporting each other. And it seemed like when that died, somehow the mindset changed from us to supporting ourselves to us supporting everything else. Like we even think if designers from Europe is better than what we have here at home. And that's the mindset that we, you know, that it's probably been happening in the last 30, 40 something years, whatever and stuff. So I know like personally in my household, especially like it's one thing, like we have a little tradition. We ain't been doing it too much because we've been traveling nowhere. But like the thing me and my wife, we will try to do is when we know we're going out of town somewhere, we'll purposely try to look at some black business in that area. And even if it's just only one, you know what I'm saying? We were trying to find somebody, a black business support, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's some type of craft or some type of stuff, just to try to give something back. Even though it might be small, but it's a conscious effort. And I think if a lot of people do that as a whole, then I think it'll make a big difference.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
That's
Jermaine,
true.
what you
Good
think,
point.
Jermaine?
So I think like three primary reasons. I think one is, remember I spoke about that article a second ago, Blacks are 228, this was in 2016, 228 years behind. So I think one of the reasons is we should support Black businesses so we can actually help close that racial financial gap, or at least be able to step in it, right? Be able to try to like help close that gap. The other thing is job creation. I think Black owned businesses will be like prime real estate to hire other Black folks or people of color. I know most Black business owners are the sole proprietors, and a lot of them probably can't, they don't have the financial means initially to hire other people. But I think at some point, if they're supported, that will be a great start to help them to hire other people of color. And the last reason, which could actually be one as well, is I think we need to support Black business, because when we support Black businesses wholeheartedly, we actually put pressure on other businesses, other companies that may have a bigger brand or bigger name, right? For example, I think about Gucci, and then I think about Dapper Dan, right? Where Dapper Dan created a product just as good back in the 80s, and rappers went to him. Rappers was like, you know what? Screw Gucci. We're going over here to Dapper Dan. And Dapper Dan did his thing. So and he's actually now, if I'm not mistaken, he actually has a contract with Gucci now, right? After he was sued by Gucci at some point. I think he actually has some kind of merger with them. So yeah, those are the reasons, man. I can go on and on. I got a couple more, but anyway, those are my primary reasons.
That's good. So Jamie, before you go, I wanted to say something. Well, no, you go ahead, and then I'll say what I need to say. Why you think it's important? Then you are an entrepreneur,
right.
Black.
Yeah, Black as night. It's about group economics. You have to think, you know, what are the indicators here? I mean, if you go to, and you've heard this analogy before, if you go to any other town, there's a little China, there's little Italy, there's little, but there's never a little Africa.
I haven't seen
There's
one.
the ghetto.
Well, Greenbelt, Maryland. No, well, I don't know. Kwame, you guys might know. Greenbelt is like a little.
I never heard that. You might be right. I never heard that though. I never heard that.
But the point is, if you were to come from out of town to San Francisco, you know to go to Little China.
Right.
You know stuff. You know what to expect there. Food, entertainment, you name it. They got it in their area for their people.
San Francisco as a whole is a little China, man. I mean, that's the most Asian city I've ever seen in my life when I went out there.
Right.
You've been out there before,
Tacoma, I mean, Seattle is the same way. But the group economics is, you know, to go there, that they have their own system set up. I think it's a bigger issue is that we don't know who we really are. I know I'm African, but Africa's a continent. Which kind of African man am I? Congolese?
Right.
You know, it's a deeper issue, so we don't really know who to coalesce around. But we're not really working together with group economics. And it's just, you know, we have to start getting back to that, because I mean, we had a thing. And then when you in Durham is what I'm referring to, in the Hayti district of Durham, they threw a highway right through the middle of that thing to cut all that black shit out. Like, cut all that out. Cut all that out. That was the nicest way to say, hey, cut that shit out.
Cut it out, and we're gonna build a suburbia part of Durham so you can get there from downtown.
Right. So they kept her separated. I mean, and it breaks up over time what you had going. It's called momentum. And they say black people aren't a monolith, but we really kind of are because if you know your family member won't allow you to pay him to take the pictures, it's because we know it's a hookup. No, you got to help me build.
Right.
You got to help me stack this thing together so I can then
Right.
buy a better camera. I can buy another light fixture. It's not about that hooking each other up. You have to start using
but Jamie, that goes back to what I was saying, bro. We are such black folks, and I want to blame it on what we historically what we've been through, but we value each other as family and close friends so much. We
right.
Will, you see
we
what
don't want to use money as a tool to
right.
show our
right.
show our Thanksgiving to one another. No, this is the game we're playing. We're playing with money, and we're gonna need you to give me some of your money so I can build better. Here, I need a better heat press machine in my situation, or I need some more shirts. I can't give this to you at a discount. I would love you supporting me by paying me. That's the thing.
Right.
But the thing is, the sad part is that we don't have the money coming in sometimes. But then as soon as we get it, we give it to somebody else.
Right.
But never to our brother. Always to the white man, just so we can have it sooner than later.
Right.
So
go ahead, Dave.
I just have a question though, because that's a good point, because you even see that with, and I think Jermaine just mentioned it, we support each other so much as family and friends, right? Where someone can send a text right now for a cookout, we all gonna show up. But you can send that same text and say, hey, I'm starting a business, I'm doing a friends and family round, I need whatever you can give. I'm broke, I don't have it. And I think where does that kind of that mindset come from that prevents us from really focusing? Because when you look at, like, for example, the Asian community, I read something one time that said in some Asian communities, when they come over from their homeland to here, they have what's called like a community fund where they help people start businesses. So like one restaurant, when they started their business, they pay back the fund. New person comes in, they want to start whatever, a restaurant. All right, you take 20 grand, you start your restaurant, you have X amount of time to pay it back. So that's why those businesses just fly up, because they're helping them. But I think the question is where does that mindset come from? Is it go back to just being happy with, all of the, oppression that we've been under, that we're just happy with the time together and we don't value the dollar? Or, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, that's just something that I see a lot, even when helping with clients.
Well, Dan, you know what? That's actually a dope point too. But just to kind of like, well, my answer to that question would be is we were never taught at a young age that money is a tool, and how just like a hammer or a screwdriver or pliers, they're great. They're awesome tools. But if you start swinging that hammer, now it's a weapon. Money to me is the same thing. If you start misusing it, it becomes a weapon, and it'll feed any insecurities that you have. So we just weren't taught that money is a tool. Let me tell you something. The first time I heard that, I think I told you guys this. When I was living abroad, this Asian man told me to treat my money like I treat my health. He saw me working out every day. Yeah. He would just kind of like mentor me. And he was always talking about building wealth. I told him some ideas I had about putting an English book on an app and all this stuff. And he said, treat your money how you treat your wealth, especially in America. And I heard him loud and clear. America's economy, when it comes to people of color, we got to fight some uphill battles. But my point is, and I also heard it too, my homie who went to the NFL, they would bring these folks in to talk to them about money management. And that's when Julius Peppers went and Lee, and some other guys, they would come back and they would talk about like those sessions they have. But we're just not taught that money is a tool. It's not, and just because you have money doesn't mean you have to spend it. Like I was never told this coming out of high school, middle school and high school. Even in school, they didn't tell me this.
No, why would they?
Jamie, when we got to NCCU, Jamie and I were together. I would never forget this. Jamie Patterson and I were at the student union. We go downstairs. It's fall '95. We go downstairs, and outside there's a row of credit card tables, just rows, giving them to us. I was like, oh, okay, let me get that. I go to the mall, I buy $300-400 worth of barber clippers. That's how I got all my clippers. That's how I was cutting hair. I swipe. Give me all that. Got all the clippers. Listen, let me tell you something real quick. Listen. man, I know probably years later, man, that thing hit my credit, and it was like, and this clippers all over my credit. I had like $500 worth of clippers, man.
Yeah, you
That's just
did.
clippers. So, but I wasn't taught that. My mother said, if you work hard, buy what you want. That's all she gave us. And when I went to Central, that's what I did.
I'm out here working hard. I'm studying. They're giving me this free money. Damn, I'm about
Hey, man, in my mind at 18, I'm like, I ain't paying this. That was my philosophy. I'm not paying it back.
And I did pay it back. I ain't paying that shit back.
You got it back, all right. Damn credit score.
That's my credit up. My credit but I ain't need it.
So Daniel, not to get off track, but I'm glad you posed that question because I know that's my experience, and I'm sure some other folks share that same experience. It just goes back. It's just that simple. We just listen. We didn't the playbook we had. Those plays weren't in the book. You know what I'm saying? We had to draw ours out right on the spot. We didn't have those plays, so But anyway,
you go out and come back in. Well, to my assertion is that what do you do when you get some money? You got to treat yourself. But we are stuck in that first, it's levels. I think we're still stuck as a culture in that same first step, as in, well, I got to treat myself. I ain't never had this before, so I'm gonna get it. Versus, imagine if you had some money as a child, you would know how to treat it.
Yeah. Or Jamie, like you said, or if those times you apply for business loans or loans,
I would know how to treat it. Yeah.
And you had access. America gave you access and avenues to it. You would have your desire to go out and splurge wouldn't be as strong, I believe.
No,
but
because I know how to damn make the money. I know how to make it.
That's like the boys from the hood going pro. What's the first thing that when they get that first check?
Mama house.
Right, because they so
you gotta treat yourself, but we can't get out of that mode or learn how to use it as a tool. The first time I heard use it as a tool was at a home buying seminar, buying properties. Me and Phil was there, and the guy was like, "No, you gotta use it as a tool." I'm like, I'd have been in business by that time, probably about 7 years, 8 years by the time. Like, that was an explosion in my mind. I could hoard money, but you got to learn how to make use of it. The dollar is like a soldier. You got to send it out to war.
Right.
So you can bring back another soldier and keep doing it.
Right.
Exactly. You can't be afraid to lose, but you got to be able. You got to be in the game. You got to understand the rules to the game. I wasn't willing to pay that game for a long time. For a long time in business, it's like, no, you got to use credit for what it's worth. That's a whole thing into itself.
Right.
Okay, gentlemen, that was a great talk there. Okay. Everybody went right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody
man.
My bad, dog.
All right. Okay, next question. All right. I ain't the Segway king, but I want to know your views on taking a guy/girls, guy trip if when you're in a relationship. So, Jermaine, you go out on a trip with your boys, or better yet, your lady goes out on a trip with the girls trip. How do you feel? What are your views on that?
Basically, am I comfortable with that?
Yeah, are you comfortable? What do you think is going on? I mean,
you know what? Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm cool with it. I think here's the thing. I think at that point, I think that's healthy. I think that's actually healthy in a relationship. I think that I learned this from when I was living in Durham. I had some friends, and they were older than us. They are older than us, and they would do this. They would take like guy trips, girl trips, but like she would go to Spain with her girls, and he would go other places and stuff like that. And I was able to see that with them, and it worked. It was working from what I thought. But I think it's healthy. I'm cool with it. I think if my lady wanted to she wanted to take a girls trip, and we talked about it. Hey, this is what we're going to do. This is when we're leaving. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think again, I think that's part of the heartbeat of a relationship. I mean, even though I'm a single man, and I don't want you guys thinking, "Oh man, you single man, that's why you saying." No, I'm saying it because
you made your mind up.
Yeah, and I've been in relationships where that actually happened, but I wouldn't have a problem with it. I tell you what, I wouldn't do. I'm not going to be calling her every 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's a whole other thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, just hit me up, let me know you're all right, check in, whatever, what you may do. I'm not gonna put that tight stronghold on you, because I know when I fly out, or I wouldn't want that. But I want it as comfortable and smooth as possible. So when she comes back, we can talk about it. and then we both understand that this is just a part of the health of the
The
relationship.
healthy relationship.
Right. So I'm cool with it.
Okay. What about you, Kwame? Send your wife out,
Yeah, I
have a
don't have
good
an issue
time.
with it. I have no issue at all with it. I think that
Hmm.
I think it's a good thing that I guess the guys can go with the guys and the female, and your wife and she can go with her friends. Because
Right.
I think going with your wife or your significant other, whatever, it's fun, but it's a different type of fun versus you going with your boys, whatever. And I think it's different fun probably if she's going with her girls. I know, like
Hmm.
if I'm going with my wife, it would be more about just making sure she's comfortable and you know what I mean, it's cool and we relaxing and I enjoy it, so it's good. But also I think that like if I'm going with the fellas, it's more or less more of a venture in a sense.
Yeah, it's an
So
adventure.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go and probably just trying to like go into a foreign land and risking like going certain neighborhoods or doing certain things with my lady because it's just me versus, if you got like
Right,
security
right.
with your guys or something like that, or we're gonna get on public transportation and do something like that. I wouldn't probably move the same way, whatever.
Right,
And
right,
so it's a different thing. So it's a different
Hmm.
outlet, whatever and stuff. And I think it's healthy if both parties was all right with it.
Okay. All right, Daniel. What about you? You send your wife out, girls trip. What's your views on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think the biggest thing that I think Jermaine and Kwame said that's the key point is just the communication. Long as there's an understanding, of what is going on, where
Hmm.
you're at, what the environment is going to be at as well, right? If you're going,
Right.
a trip to somewhere where may not be the best environment, that may be the only issue. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's a healthy part of it. I think you got to be able to get out sometimes and decompress, get some talk with your girls and just kind of more of anything, just relax. Sometimes it's just
Mm.
that relaxation, just to get away from the responsibilities of being a parent, being a wife,
True.
being a business. Me and my wife, we do business together, so being a business
Hmm.
owner, running the office, is just sometimes you need that free space to be able to think about it.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's just having that communication. It's funny because me and my wife, we've actually just had this debate like a week ago. We were talking about it. She was asking me what I want to go on a guy's trip, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, I mean, for me, because I'm more of a homebody. I mean, I'm work, family. That's just kind of my prerogative. I was like, I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'll probably go, but I'm not something I'm putting together.
You didn't put it together. I
Yeah,
went.
you
I didn't
might
put this
show up.
together.
Yeah, I'm
I
not putting
showed up,
it together. Like they asked me,
and I decided
about
to.
it.
I'll just.
Go, yeah.
I jumped right in. Okay, Kasharo,
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Like
straight back from Jamaica.
I think it's healthy. I mean, I think it's healthy for both people because you with each other all the time, and sometimes you just need that break, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's just healthy to still keep those bonds and those relationships with the same people or even new people
Hmm.
that you had before, and not try to make it seem like there's a change because now
Right.
you're in a relationship all of a sudden. Because some people do change. So for
Right.
me, I think it's healthy on both sides if people can take those guy trips and those girl trips. It's a different level, like Kwame said, because I know for me, if I'm going to with my wife, I have to make sure it's a certain level of comfort for her. I
Yeah,
mean,
Right.
it got to be a certain type of hotel. It got to be a certain, with the
Right.
all that versus me. I want the
One
same thing.
star.
Don't get me wrong. It better be comfortable, but I
you can
think
rough it a little bit.
we as men can adjust and adapt a little bit more than a woman can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's still a little different when you travel with your boys versus your girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's be
Well.
clear. Let's be clear. Even when you joking, like I'm pretty sure when you joking with your wife or your significant other, it can be funny. But when you joke with your boys, it's still a different type of joking around. If you say
Yeah.
something that's crazy stuff around your wife, she's not gonna even think it's funny, or she's not gonna get it
She
the
can
same
think it's
way, whatever.
crass.
It's gonna go
Right.
right
Right.
over.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it goes same things for women too. They might just take amongst some stuff that she think is funny amongst her group of friends, and I probably don't
Hmm.
think it's funny at all, or it's not interesting. And I may
I don't
chuckle
want
to
to hear
be
that.
polite, but I probably don't care about it.
A
Right.
polite chuckle.
Like,
Well, my views on it is that you got to remember that you're two people. You're
Mhm.
someone's husband, but you're still someone else's friend. So
mm,
there's friend Jamie and then there's husband Jamie, and they're two different people. So it's separating the two and being able to co-mingle with that relationship Jamie and friend Jamie, and having my wife do the exact same thing because she's wife, but she's also someone else's friend, and they go do girl stuff and take all the selfies and yeah. As a matter of fact, we're going to the beach this week. Now you understand? Your boy can rough. I can rough. I'm a 1-star kind of guy. I don't need 5 stars.
It's a 1-star.
You know, your boy. Listen, you remember we went to the damn beach?
Listen.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Yeah, we
Listen,
know.
I thought you might have grown since then, though. That's like 20-something years ago.
And let me tell you something. We've slept on dressers before.
Yeah.
Dressers.
Under the table because there was space there under the table.
That's right.
So we got to get a house because we don't want to share walls, and the floor has to be clean from the pictures, and the bathroom has to be clean. So there's a different person. If I was with y'all, we going is trying to get as close as we can to that beach. Period. I don't care where it is. It could be a hole in the wall.
Right.
But we understand that. So
Right.
as long as my real concern is that she has fun, and that
Safe.
certainly be safe, have fun, and really enjoy yourself. Find the joy in the trip. Because I will do the same thing with a lesser amount of money.
Right.
And I want, it's healthy for the soul, it's for the spirit.
Right.
I mean, that's what homecoming is. Like, look, we together, but we ain't together this weekend. Because I want you to go and be with your friends, and I'll be with my friends. I'll be the Q Dogs today, and you could be the AKAs today and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And there's not anything wrong about that. It's the fact that you could, be yourself as
and be okay with that.
That's right.
And be okay with that's the honest answer. Like, no, you have to be okay with it.
Right. That's true,
Like,
Jay.
I don't have to drive my wife to campus, park the car, and wait. No, you get there how you get there, because I'm gonna get there how I'm gonna get there.
Right.
On the damn homecoming trip.
Jermaine.
No doubt. Fellas. All right, fellas, we're going to wrap it up, man. Before we do, I want to get into this week's dose of dopeness, where we actually give a platform to Black businesses and folks who are really, really, really contributing to Black culture. And this week's dose of dopeness goes to our guest, Mr. Daniel Thomas, who's an entrepreneur, and he's the senior director for Elevated Wealth Group. And Daniel, I'm gonna let you just talk a little bit about your business, give us your contacts, your websites, and all that stuff, what you do, and the mission statements, whatever you want to get.
Yeah, appreciate it. And again, I couldn't be more pleased and welcome to be a part of this group, man. And I love what you guys are doing. I love the conversation we had today. I love what you guys are focusing on. I think we need to have more conversations like this. You say barbershop talk, but this is not really talking to barbershop anymore. Barbershop talk a lot different nowadays than when I grew up. My dad talked to barbershop. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. But as Jermaine said, I've been working in the financial industry now for 10 years. We just decided 4 years ago to branch out, become independent. And what that means for our clients is we're an independent broker. We're not captive. So that means we have choices. We have options. We're not trying to put our clients into a specific category or specific product, specific service. We're able to represent our clients to the companies instead of vice versa, where most companies are representing themselves to the client. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a different financial situation. Everyone has, a different place where they're at. You may be here, another person may be here, another person may be low. We got to start where you're at and work our way to get to where you want to get to. And, our main focus is really working with middle-class America. So that's really what differs us and our firm. Our mission is kind of corny in a sense, but it's no family left behind, because if you look at America right now, about 95% of America falls into that middle-class category, right? Especially if you're looking within the Black community. And it's about 5%, it's probably less than that, that's wealthy in America. When you talk about wealthy, we're talking about like over $250,000 a year or more, going into $400,000 a year or more. There's not a lot of people, especially people of color, that fall into that category. So our focus is showing that 95% what wealthy people are doing. And we teach a lot of strategies. We teach the basic stuff, your 401k, IRA, Roth, your insurances, all those things align. But we also teach other strategies like infinite banking, family banking, how to utilize and become your own bank, or what we like to say OPM, which is using other people's money. I think, Jimmy, you mentioned that earlier, how you leverage credit, right? There's ways you can do that in finance, within, building up your finances to be able to leverage money from these institutions to start your businesses or have capital. And that's really what our focus is as a company. One of the things that we focus on too is there's no requirements to sit with us. We don't have any fees or obligations. The way that we're paid is we're paid on the back end through the companies we represent. So whenever we work with our clients, they have that fresher breath air that they can come and sit down with us, not have to worry about paying anything up front, not have to worry about if they got $100,000 in the bank or they make $250,000. None of these requirements that a lot of these institutions have. If you went to Merrill Lynch right now, if you to have $250,000 in assets, they probably wouldn't have a conversation with you. It's a different type of clientele that they're looking for, right?
Okay.
With us, our clientele is more focused on, hey, if you're looking to build and grow, we're willing to be able to help you. But with that said, if you want to get in contact with me, you can, on Facebook, Daniel J. Thomas, Instagram, Mr. DJ Thomas, Mr. and then _, DJ Thomas. You can also get to me by email, djthomas@elevatedwealthgroup.com. Contact number is 919-995-8390. And then our website is elevatedwealthgroup.com. It is going through a current remodel right now for some compliance things. We got to, finances is a heavily regulated industry, so we got to stay in compliance. So we got some things that we're reshaping on the website. But those are ways you can get in contact with us. And, all of our, like I said, consultations are complimentary. So you sit down, we find out more about you. And if we can assist you, we'll assist you. If we can't, we'll point you in a direction where you can get the help and, some of the contacts and partners that we have as well.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Awesome. Folks, listen, well, we provided a awesome platform for you guys to focus on your finances. Daniel, I'm definitely going to be getting with you shortly, but like real soon, just to get some consultation and stuff like that. So I encourage y'all to do the same thing, man. It's time. I know it's been time for everybody to get their finances, your physical health, your financial health together. So Daniel, again, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your time, bro. You're definitely welcome back anytime. Matter of fact, next season we'll probably bring you back one more again. Give us
anytime, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, Daniel, we thank you again. We really do appreciate it. I know I got a lot out of this entire conversation tonight from everybody. So we want to thank our listeners, our Quattros.
What up, Quattros?
Tuning in again. If you want to find us, you can find us at 4x Dope Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. On Twitter, 4x Dope Podcast 1. And if you want to email us with comments, concerns, sponsorship, you can email us at 4xdopepodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out our merchandise, our 4x Dope merchandise. We got hoodies and we got t-shirts coming, right, Jamie?
Damn right, we got t-shirts.
All right. At www.shopst2c.com. Oh, before we go, Daniel, before we let you go, before we say goodbye, is there just one tidbit of advice you could leave with our listeners as far as finances or financial literacy?
Man, all that just one. Man, that's a hard one, man. What I would say, honestly, what I would say though is the biggest thing is getting started. I'll have to say that's probably the biggest thing. Most people always want to wait, till I get to a certain income, I'll start, or I have this much saved, I'll start, or I pay this off, I'll start. Man, if you got $5 and that's all you got extra every month to save and invest, you got to get started somewhere. And I would tell you that's probably the biggest thing and what holds up a lot of people. I think Jamie, I said it earlier, was the fear, right? It's the fear of getting started, but it's also the other side of fear is the fear of missing out. So there's two different things. You can have the fear of not getting started, and you have the fear of missing out where you get out there and you just throw your money into anything, and you're not planning. So get started, sit with a professional. It doesn't have to be me. I don't care if you sit down with me or not. I would love for you to sit down with me, but if you got another professional you sit down with a professional and get a plan together and get something started. And I think that would probably be the one tidbit I say that should help everybody.
Get started.
Thank you. We'll appreciate it. All right. Until next time, fellas. We out.